StarCast is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse System. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast and get 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the Starcraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to go check out their t-shirts in their new store. Once again, that's SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, and we thank them for their support. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 150 of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast. I am your host, Garrett Weinzierl, and with me, as always, for almost 150, we've both missed episodes here and there, but we're not going to get that technical, is Kyle. I don't know your last name, actually. That's kind of funny. Fergusson. How are you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great. I'm doing a well-calculated kind of great because it's Thursday, which means only one more day of the monotony, and then a weekend. Yeah. Sweet weekend.
Yep, I'm playing a Star Wars RPG, like pen and paper and dice, for the first time tomorrow with Ben from This Week in Blizz. I'm very excited.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Real quick, let's pedal back to the very beginning of the show. What is your middle name, sir? Because we introduced that as like Garrett Saint Weinzierl. That's my handle. Yours is Kyle Tarrasque Fergusson. But what is your actual middle name?
Oh, it's Robert, named after my grandpa Bob.
Robert. Okay, Grandpa Bob. That's less. I was hoping you'd after Robert Baratheon, the king that was killed by a boar. But that was not the case. Spoiler alert! Sorry, we got angry emails about talking Game of Thrones spoilers in last week's show.
Yeah, well, that one was so obvious.
The guy's question was, what did you think of this last episode? What did you think we were...
there was a big spoiler, but I didn't think it was a big spoiler. At any rate, yes, we will avoid Game of Thrones and other nerdy spoilers out there.
Yeah, other than Robert getting gored by a boar. Nonetheless...
what about your middle name?
My middle name is Gerard.
So Gerard Butler.
Yeah, I wish I had that incredible accent, and even... I'm going to say incredible body. I'm not attracted to him. I just wish I'd look like King Leonidas.
No, but you can still admire that, sure.
The man looks like a Greek god.
Yeah, I mean, don't put all your faith in Leonidas, though, because that's computer animation, lighting, you got some airbrushing going on there.
Yeah, but everyone in that movie's pretty much could rip me in half.
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're probably benching before they go on just to make sure everything's popping.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, watch Iron Man. When Robert Downey Jr. is laying back and getting the thingy removed from his chest, I think those are sprayed on.
Yeah, well, he's older, it makes sense.
Sure.
Man, I haven't watched the first one in a while. I actually have more recently seen the second one, and I didn't really care for the second one that much.
Oh, we got a third one coming up real quick.
I can't wait. It's getting really good reviews. It's made just an obscene amount of money overseas already.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's coming out tomorrow, man. It's going to be fun.
I'm worried about Rescue, but it's not going to stop me from seeing it.
Rescue?
Yeah, Rescue. Pepper Potts putting on an Iron Man suit.
Oh. I didn't even know. Thank you for that spoiler, Kyle.
Oh, that's not a spoiler. That's comic book stuff, but yes. It's awesome to have Iron Man in the forefront. Jeez, you go back 5 years even, tell me Iron Man is someone to watch. I'd laugh in your face.
Yeah, I would too. Let alone arguably the most popular superhero at the moment, if for no other reason than because the Dark Knight series is over, sadly. But that new Superman movie looks great, though, while we're on that subject. I can't wait for that.
I've never actually seen an entire Superman movie, but I'm not a big Superman fan.
They're all pretty awful, so you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. This new one looks really good, though.
I'll go in with that, then, because I went 1 year after finals to go see Blade 3, and I thought it was the best movie I'd ever seen. Zero expectations, brain exhausted. I was all there.
That's the only Blade movie I like. I hate them all, but Ryan Reynolds makes that movie adjustable for me.
2's just whack with the unfolding jaws and like the evil.
Just
well, that's in the
everything,
third one.
Everything.
There's
Not
the evil dog.
a big fan, man. Not a big fan. I like the Underworld series. I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah, but hey, what you gonna do? Let's talk a little StarCraft, though, Kyle. What do you think?
How about that?
Yeah, let's get off the subject of movies and spoilers and whatnot. I am sorry if I spoiled the Game of Thrones. By the way, the question was specifically about the most recent episode. I figured that was enough warning.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, the show's still phenomenal.
In particular, the email we got was from the UK, and they have to wait an extra week, I think, for the episode.
Ooh, that's rough. Yeah, something weird like that. I'm sorry about that, man. That is terrible. I'm sorry, but you got Iron Man first. He says true. I think that's like the first movie they've gotten first, but still, I'm complaining about it. Deal with it. We're going to start off the show a little different this week. We're going to start it off with some emails because we got quite a few emails that were all kind of revolving around the same subject, and it was from newcomers to the fandom of esports in general. First up, we're going to read this email from Jared, who said, "Hey guys, I really enjoy your show. I've just recently been getting into esports, specifically StarCraft 2. I watched MLG Dallas on Twitch, and the games were awesome. However, I'm noticing getting into this sport is difficult due to the lack of uniformity, i.e. it's easier to get into baseball because there's just one baseball league where you can find the schedules and all that. Esports and StarCraft 2, there seems to be a bunch of different major tournaments that operate moderately autonomously. I'm totally butchering that. He says, and then a ton of minor tournaments in between these. In that sense, it seems more analogous to golf than other sports. So my question is, could you point me in the direction of the best introduction to the StarCraft 2 esports scene that will explain which tournaments are important, when they happen, how they relate to each other? I've been to teamliquid.net and I can't really find where I'm supposed to go on there to figure it out. I don't blame you. The first time I went to Team Liquid, I was so lost. It was ridiculous.
Scared even.
Yeah. But yeah, we got that, and then we got this following email from Cubby, who said similar stuff. He said, I played StarCraft 2 when it first came out, but never really got into the multiplayer. But since Heart of the Swarm came out, I'm playing a lot more than I used to, and watching more videos online than ever before. I'll be honest, though, I can't figure out the leagues. Question 1, which is the best? Question 2, where do I go to watch these? And question 3, what's the breakdown? You guys mentioned Group D, Code S. I just don't know. I'm really looking for a noob's guide to following esports. So we're going to dedicate this episode to be the unofficial esports Noobisode. We just finished with the 3 race specifics Noobisode, so we're going to try and do our best to explain more than we usually do today.
Yes.
When it comes to tournaments. And right off the bat, we're going to try and answer some of these questions. So the first guy, Jared, said, where can I go? What's the best introduction into StarCraft 2 esports? I've been to teamliquid.net. It's confusing. I don't really think there's a good My First Esports website. A lot of them operate with this unspoken understanding that you have some mild level of knowledge coming into it. So, with that in mind, you should find a tournament you like and just stick with it. Would be my first. Wow, words have escaped me. My first suggestion.
Yeah, it is a complicated scene because it's really based around players, and the analogy to golf is actually quite accurate, as much as we may want to avoid it. If you pick out one favorite player from the scene, it might work better than actually following tournaments, because then you're following that player, you're following them to the tournaments, and you learn about it that way. Yeah,
exactly. And for the longest time, there wasn't any uniformity. You're absolutely right, Jared. Now with the WCS, there is a connecting tissue, albeit very confusing. A very confusing connective tissue.
Well, it's also kind of shocking, I'm sure, for new players who got back into Heart of the Swarm. Now they're seeing those splash screens in-game. They did a really nice one for DreamHack this past weekend. So you could click right there in the client and go to the website and start watching it. Mm-hmm. But the second Heart of the Swarm came out, this stuff started happening, and the tournaments were already running. There was no big lead up to the first tournament or the release. It, in fact, happened the first weekend we had the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very fast. Yeah, and that's why the whole WCS thing seemed so rushed. Because we had the tournament right away, and it was just like, by the way, here's the tournament structure. Here's how all the tournaments now work together. And we're just like, wait, whoa, hold the phone. Because to give you a quick kind of window into the past, last year there was some uniformity between leagues, but one tournament siphoning into another separate tournament. Like we had a lot of we had MLG working with Kespa and DreamHack. Basically, if you place X high amount, you already qualified. Like if you place high enough in DreamHack, you qualify for MLG, or vice versa. And then they also had a deal with Kespa. Kespa, by the way, being one of the major organizations in Korea that was the last kind of bastion or holdout with Brood War, who are the most recent to have switched over to StarCraft 2. So it was a really big deal that MLG got a deal with them to have their players come over and play games in America in their tournament.
Yes, so what you have is, so Kespa, what you just said, that's the Korean team, kind of like a union of players that help
They're
those
not just
players.
one team. It is a combination of many teams.
Yes, but a union most certainly that help these players get to events and make sure, the players were taken care of and all these sort of things. And they originally did not want to move on to StarCraft 2. They stayed all of the last original game, not the expansion, playing Brood War still. Now, that means they didn't participate in the GSL. The GSL is the Korean tournament, and I think we can both agree that that's our favorite tournament. It's the one to watch.
Yeah, definitely. That's my favorite. It was the first Korean tournament to be doing StarCraft 2, and I think it shows now if you go and watch Pro League, which is the Kespa tournament, and then you watch GSL. I still think GSL has a higher production value, better casters. I really enjoy it. Plus, I just have the history now of having followed it since just after beta.
Right, and it's because it's regular and it's well paced, would be a good way to put it, over a month through its different seasons. You can always keep checking into it, whereas something like MLG, Major League Gaming, which is here in the United States, moves from city to city, so you can, plan to attend a live event, but that's all crammed into a single weekend.
And this is where it gets hairy, because it's not really true anymore. It's still what they're best known for. It's what the big event is their LAN. When I say LAN, I don't mean, yes, there is no LAN mode in StarCraft, but we're talking about there's an event. They've rented out a convention hall, and all these players are being flown in and playing this live. MLG used to really only ever do like a 3-day weekend tournament. Now they have since started doing like qualifiers over the internet with their on-staff casters leading up to their major LAN events.
Which grew as StarCraft grew. So if you're just joining the scene, again, this is kind of confusing. So MLG, originally this LAN only, you go there, they have the computer set up, you compete, they build the bracket, you move up the ladder, and you compete on stage as you get good enough. Then, of course, it becomes popular, so they have to set this up ahead of time so they start having seeded spots. So some players are already in like the round of 32. And then you can still compete in the open area and get into that, but not any longer.
Right.
I could see. What we didn't want to do today is crowd you with information, but it's hard not to do. Let's jump off MLG and go to DreamHack, one of the other big ones.
I think a good way to kind of break it down is DreamHack and MLG are kind of famous for their marathon-style tournaments that take place over 3 days. So yes. DreamHack is your one in Europe. MLG is kind of your analogous tournament in America, whereas GSL and Pro League, they kind of go all year, and you can almost always tune into them, and something will be going on. And that's probably the most similar thing over here is probably NASL.
Exactly. Now, the thing about these one weekend burst tournaments is if you miss the weekend, they can be a little hard to get into. And often that also means that the videos might not be as available, or they might be available after the fact. Or it might be one massive 10-hour long video that you need to have someone else break down for you so you can find the different matches.
Those are becoming a lot less common. I actually can't remember the last time I saw a 10-hour tournament VOD.
Yes.
But a wonderful, wonderful resource for tournament VODs is the subreddit Spoiler-Free SC. It's just, Reddit/r/spoiler-free SC, and it's a spoiler-free StarCraft subreddit dedicated to nothing but VODs. You won't go on there and see the latest esports drama. It's just, here's the last tournament that happened, and here's all the freaking VODs. Wonderful for that, and it's, like I said, spoiler-free. The other resource I love more than anything, this goes for Jared, Cubby, and everyone else who emailed us just asking, where do I go to keep up with this crap? Is an extension of Team Liquid, which is their Liquipedia site, which is like a Wikipedia page, but it's for StarCraft 2 eSports, and they have one for Brood War, and I believe they have one for Dota 2 as well. I read Liquipedia like I would assume people who ever used newspapers read the sports section. I don't know. I'm on Liquipedia every day catching up on tournaments that I didn't have time to watch or missed. And I'm going to try and pull it up right now just so I can walk myself through it. But it's on the navigation bar of teamliquid.net. It's near the end, but you go to the StarCraft 2 one, and again, you go to Liquipedia, and just like Team Liquid, there's a ton of boxes and columns everywhere. But the thing you want to, if you're new, just look at the tournament section. It's on the far right side of the screen. It's wonderful. They've got upcoming tournaments, they have ongoing tournaments, and they have completed tournaments. And if you ever go through our show notes over at thestarcast.com, you'll notice all of the tournaments that we're talking about, if we have links for our own reference, they all point to Liquipedia pages because they're updated so quickly, it's ridiculous. It's like they have foresight. Oh, I know this guy's going to win. I'm just going to type it in. They're so up to date. It's wonderful. So if I went there right now, so I could under completed, I could go just see the DreamHack results. I could see the round of four, the fourth round of Pro League results, and then ongoing we obviously have all three WCSs. We have GSTL, we have Acer's Team Story Cup, and then upcoming we have the Pro League Round 5. So that's probably the best way to go, and just play around with it. Because a lot of them have sub-tabs. Like if you go to the GSL one, you're going to have Code A, you're going to have Code S. Which I guess leads us into our next topic, because one of the questions was, well, what does all this crap mean? What is Code A? What is Code S? And to try and talk about it generally is kind of hard, because it's different for every tournament. But basically, almost every tournament has some kind of... They usually have multiple leagues. If we're using GSL as our example, Kyle, Code S is obviously the highest ranked league. This is where all the best players are. Mm-hmm. Your top 8 from the previous season, I believe, or is it top 16 from previous season?
They're really just the pools that get built over tournaments that overlap into the next tournament, so that you actually have a bracket when a tournament has its end. When Season 1 GSL ends, Season 2 pulls from the previous bracket to make the new one.
Right, and a lot of tournaments work similarly. Whoever placed highest in the last MLG already have pre-qualified seats in the next season of MLG. And if they're not team leagues, they're usually broken down into round of 32, or you have your highest 32 ranked players, and then they all play each other, and then they go to the round of 16, they all play each other, round of 8, etc. Almost all of them work like that. There are of course exceptions to this, and I'm sure some of you guys listening are like, but what about I'm trying to keep it simple, which is very, very hard to do.
Yes. So let's move on to the simplest thing, how to watch, how to get into this, because that's really what they want to know. And luckily for you, unless you're random, you've picked a race, so you're already halfway there to getting into this game. Now you need to...
There's 3 races, so you could say you're a third the way... Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Wait, no, that doesn't work. So you already kind of know what you like. And so you're probably going to like watching videos of your matchup. So what I would suggest doing, and this is what worked well for me, was go into gomtv.net And all the first videos of every match is free. So just start watching. Click schedule up top. You're going to want to find Code S. Anything that says Code S, really. And they have a lot of other side events going on. You got a big old calendar here with all the stuff going on. But Code S is the big stuff, the big leagues. And just find, if you're a Zerg player, find a Zerg player. And scroll through until you find a VOD that is the first one, is the free one, with your player, your race of choice. And watch them. And some players might not be your thing. They might not play in your style. I particularly don't enjoy roaches. Some players are like, all the roaches all the time. So I didn't get into them.
Yes.
But other players do 3 base ultralist timings. And I really like those kind of people.
I was playing with Mork last night, Kyle, and you'd be so proud of me because we were going double Zerg, and in our second to last game, we got matched up against another double Zerg. And I pretty much was just like on the back foot the entire game. They kept coming in my base with mutas and just resetting my drone count. But Mork, being the ungodly Zerg player that he is, by the way, I'm totally sidestepping from our eSports discussion, but who cares? It's still StarCraft. At least we're not talking Game of Thrones. Mork, being the god he is, kept us in the game. So he's off. He's harassing. He's in their base with speed links. He's just doing all these tiny little pokes and prods. Meanwhile, I have him finally stabilized, and it was awesome because I got to finally pull a you, Kyle. I finally had my suddenly ultralists moment. Mork was in the enemy's base, didn't even know what I was doing. All of a sudden, 9 ultralists charge up the ramp to support him, and he just goes, "Oh my god, where did these come from?"
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Now I know why you go blindly ultralisks in our team games.
Well, sure, it's good fun.
It's a good feeling. Anyways, back to how to watch. It's good. It's funny you bring up GSL and you have to pay. If you're not looking to pay, a good rule of thumb is if you can find it live, it's gonna be free. And if you're like us and you're in the U.S., watching GSL live sucks if you're not like a student. In college, I would have loved GSL because I was up during those ungodly hours anyway. But now I have
upgrading and just throw it on the back of Raid. Oh, that would have been perfect. Screw Adult Swim.
Oh man, you're right. Why wasn't StarCraft 2 out when I was a hardcore Warcraft raider?
I don't know. They put out that teaser too while I was in college, and I had to wait 2 years.
Oh yeah, I know. I would watch that like at least once every 2 months.
It's a daily worship.
Yep. Get down on your knees. But yeah, like I said, a good rule of thumb is if it's live, if you can catch it live, it's free to watch. The NASL Twitch.tv stream is wonderful. They do a lot of rebroadcasts, so if you missed it, you can usually still catch it for free. They just stream a lot as it is. MLG is now doing a lot more content in between their major LAN events, so it's a good, very good bet that you can catch those. I mean, I watched DreamHack. I had DreamHack on in the background all weekend, and I didn't pay a dime. So, like I said, if you can catch it while it is live, it's like 99% of the time it's free. I can't think of one good tournament that's worth watching that isn't free when it's live.
Yep, that's true. And then you start getting into single player. You can check their live stream when they stream, for free online on Twitch or another website. But really, I think the GSL is where you need to go because it has a long story. And Tasteless and Artosis, your casters there, know that story through and through. They know the story from Brood War. If you're tuning into a mega weekend event, there's going to be a story, but the casters have been going for 8 hours. They may be a little confused on the story. They may not know where this person came from. That could be the most exciting thing about it. But getting into it, I feel like you really need to take those baby steps.
Yeah, I agree. I find GSL the easiest to follow. That being said, it's the one I've been watching the longest. But I find point system-based tournaments like NASL the hardest to follow, in my opinion. Yeah,
it's easier to follow victories. And, he beat him and he moves on. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he did great last season.
That's why he's here. Yeah, exactly. So that's GomeTV.net. We're not just pimping it because we're on Tasteless's stream. That's not the only reason we're pimping it. It is. No. It is just my favorite damn tournament.
We have been talking exclusively about the GSL for quite a while, then had to be informed. Well, first we were informed that there was a GSL. Then we had to be informed that there were other tournaments to watch as well.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Oh boy, that was fun. They're like, why aren't you talking about DreamHack? I'm like, because I'm new. and is very rated. Like if you only watch one tournament, watch GSL. If you watch two, watch DreamHack. Oh my God, DreamHack.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
Oh my God, I was so busy this weekend. It was so sad. I had it on the background the whole time, but I barely got to see any full sets through. It was so depressing. Anyways, so I don't know how much further I want to go into this. I don't want to
let's stop there.
People.
Yeah, no, we don't want to. I definitely don't want to overwhelm people with information here. I would say if you want to call it homework, that sounds awful. But find
your homework this week. Find yourself a tournament. Read up on the backlog of the tournament on Wikipedia, and tell us what you think.
No. Find yourself a player that you like. And
I want a 500-word essay.
And you know what? You're probably going to pick someone, and they're going to get their ass beat, and you're going to go, wait a minute. I love this guy who beat the guy I thought I liked. And just follow them and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I recently have had to do a lot of soul searching for a new favorite Terran. Because my favorite Terran just isn't winning anymore, and it's sad. And then my new favorite Terran got knocked out this past week, so I don't even have a dog in the race. Kind of sad.
It's rough. It's rough. It's Heart of the Swarm is a whole new world.
I immediately want to start singing Aladdin, but I'm going to push through and talk about the first bit of news we wanted to discuss this week, which is that BlizzCon is now sold out. And we are going.
Yes, we are.
Yes, this is so wonderful. So damn wonderful. So they went up. This was this past Wednesday and Saturday. A lot of the reports are saying it was sold out in 30 minutes, but honestly, because of the queue system, all of the tickets were pretty much accounted for within like 5 seconds.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Katie and I clicked buy now at the exact same time. I was place 85. She was place like 2200. Kind of ridiculous.
Yep, just got to keep spamming that F5. But we got them. Super excited to be there for the WCS finals. That's going to be awesome. And it's always great to see all the people who went there only for WoW being like, what is this thing?
Yes. Yes, it is. It is so good. It is so absolutely wonderful. That being said, I am excited to see any WoW news this year. I'm really, really hoping we get to see something about their new MMO.
Oh, yes, but we've all been hoping that for years now.
Yeah, but every year, though, man, you're 1 year closer to it announcing.
Yeah, I'm hoping to play some Blizzard All-Stars while I'm there, because last time that game looked sweet and awesome and looked ready to ship, but it lacked personality. And a lot of the feedback they got was, I want these characters to be voice acted and be communicating with one another when they kill each other. So I'm super excited to see that.
Oh, if Blizzard does that, they're going to knock it out of the park.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Zagara yelling at the Lich King? Bring it on.
Awesome.
Ooh, Abathur hero. Oh, I'd be all over that.
Anyways, make sure you stay connected to us. Follow us on Twitter at the StarCast. Follow our other show this week at This Week in Blizz. Most importantly, go join the forums over at thestarcast.com/forums for more information on meetups, as well as as we get closer to the day, because we're going to do a meetup probably the night before. Sorry, it's not forums, it's forum. There's no S on the forum. It's just thestarcast.com/forum. But yeah, that's where we're playing all of our meetups. Last time we did a meetup the night before. We went bowling. We had some beer. It was so much fun. It's very, very.
It was awesome. That was a sweet bowling alley too.
That was the nicest bowling alley I've ever been to. I didn't know
Classy.
I didn't know nice bowling alleys existed.
No, me neither. But they do in Anaheim.
Yeah, I've only ever been to the one that has like one Area 51 cabinet in the back that doesn't work anymore.
Nice. Maybe a DDR machine, but like half the buttons are broken.
Like cracked, like you dropped your iPhone.
Oh God, those things are expensive. But I always pay my $1.50 to give it a go.
Oh, I hate DDR. I hate it so much. When Guitar Hero came out, I was like, finally, I don't have to friggin' dance to a music game. And now Rock Band has gone the way of the dodo, and it makes me so sad because I love those games.
Yeah, God, that disappeared completely.
Yep. Thanks, Activision. Anyways, heard that was not forums. I'm going to get a link for the chat room. That's our. Oh, I can't post links in here. Damn.
You can do the space dash sort of.
Nah, whatever. I'm not going to do that much typing on live. That's ridiculous. Come on, man.
All right.
Season 3 locked this past weekend. We're getting a bunch of changes to the map pool.
Yes, we are. Thank goodness.
Yes, much needed. Blizzard has announced that there changes to the map pool for the next season. There's going to be 3 1v1 maps and 2 2v2 maps being replaced. The 1v1 maps being replaced are Daybreak, Newkirk Precinct, because it's a piece of shit, and Core Hall City. New to the 1v1 map development this time, they said that once we decided which maps would be included in the pool, we sent them over to an array of major tournament organizers for review, including GOM TV, OnGameNet, Kespa, ESL, MLG, DreamHack, and NASL, and Lions and Bears Oh My. Based on their feedback, we implemented a variety of suggested changes and tagged each map that underwent this process as Tournament Edition, or TE for short. If this experiment works out well this season, we'll continue to iterate and improve on it going forward. This is wonderful. This is something that the community has kind of been screaming at the top of their lungs through a megaphone plugged into an amplifier at a Motley Crue concert. So it's really nice to see that this is actually happening.
Just the fact that these are getting reviewed by the tournaments is really nice. And it's so awesome to see the map you play on every day in a tournament. And even cooler when it has dream hacks like written across the middle of it, or they do something awesome with it.
Or it's GSL and they literally write GSL everywhere they can, and it's almost ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a little extreme, but it's still cool to see that. And then you'd be like, oh, that's the clip I could use to do that horrible thing.
Yep, and then you realize you're not that good and it doesn't work.
Well, you can try.
Yes. Now, Kyle, you found a win rate graph from April.
I did. So the entire month of April, we have the win rates here from Liquipedia. Put this together, and it's good. Things are looking pretty good. Looking pretty 50-50. Zerg struggling a bit in TVZ.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the matchups are going pretty well. I feel like I'm impressed at how well Protoss is doing, actually, because I feel like they are underrepresented at the moment in most tournaments in the top tier.
Yeah, which is funny, though, because if you look at their matchups, they're slightly ahead in Terran and TVP, and they're slightly ahead in ZVP.
Yeah.
But overall, the overall distribution, Terran is slightly ahead by a margin of 0.7%. Zerg being so Terran's at 35% win rate, Protoss is at 34.3%, and Zerg is at 30.8%. So Zerg's at the lowest, which is sad because this is heart of the swarm. You know, you think it. I don't know. What do you think that is? I mean, we're talking. There's been a lot of talk this past week, or we talked last week. David Kim talking about buffing sport crawlers and ZVZ, but not too much talk about buffing anything else for the other two matchups.
No, I think Terran is just going to dominate right now because they have
Widow Mines. Yeah,
exactly. And the boosters on the Metavacs. Like, these are tools that are easy to use as a player.
I really feel like in pro games, though, people are pretty comfortable with dealing with the emergency thrusters on
absolutely. It doesn't seem to have too much of a impact on the game, and it's cool to watch. Really, it has a nice drama to it. Where are they going to boost in? Are they going to boost out? I really like it, and it's cool to see drops again because that drama it gives. In fact, I feel like all that money that's being spent defending a base, putting up cannons everywhere, making sure you're drop proof, really slows down the game a little bit and makes it more enjoyable. And allows the end game to be that much more thrilling because then the battles are happening in the middle, big frickin' armies. There's a transition out of this mid-game harass. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I think Heart of the Swarm did a lot for the viewer.
Agreed. Widow Mines are so great spectator-wise. Are you as frustrated with them as other friends of mine are? Like, I was playing with Mork last night, and he's utterly frustrated with Widow Mines.
They're really frustrating, to be fair, yes. I really liked Life's play in the GSL this past week, where he got single swarm hosts, or one or two, and just kind of set them up so that there was continually something walking through the middle of the map, detonating those bombs.
That is a cool idea.
Yeah,
I did not see that game. I will have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, just having that to take advantage of...
So you're saying he had a garnish of swarm hosts.
Exactly. He didn't invest really anything in them. In fact, when he would get the infestation pit down, he would get a swarm host right away and then get pathogen glands. And nothing, no upgrades for the swarm host at all.
That's crazy. I'm definitely going to have to go back and watch those.
But it's something players are going to learn to do. Ultimately, if you invest as much in Widow Mines as people are doing right now on the ladder for their wins, it's not going to pay off in the long run. And I feel like Terrans, these are also things you can use in the mid game, which is where most like Gold League games are going to get to when you win. Something like a Viper, it's not going to get used much. It's not going to.
I could see getting a lot of use in Gold League in PvZ because you're going to see Colossus from Protoss in Gold League.
Sure.
But I guess is going to do gold level Zergs get to that tech? No. That's always a good question. I don't know. I don't play enough gold level Zerg, I guess.
And we're also seeing a lot of people who did really, really great in Wings of Liberty just falling flat on their face in Heart of the Swarm because they can't adapt to these new changes yet. So these win rates are definitely going to be show of that.
Yeah. I was just curious. We're by no means, if you're new to listening, we're not pro players. We'd like to get the everyman feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, we talked about this briefly on This Week in Blizz. Just wanted to make sure we put it in here as well. A nice little dirty trick for your Protoss players. This was posted by Reddit user A Giant Smurf. He confirmed this past week a very interesting use of the Oracle's Revelation ability. If a unit has the revealed effect applied to them using the Revelation ability, and then said unit is loaded into a medevac or Overlord or a Warp Prism, that Protoss player will have vision of that dropship for as long as the revealed unit is loaded.
Yeah, and the timer doesn't go down until they get out. So I'm assuming this is going to be hot fixed.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, it's an awesome ability, and if they got rid of it, it'd be real sad. Because I just love the idea of the guy sitting inside the medevac calling back to the Protoss. We're over the space. We're in space. All right, we're coming back. I mean, it's a great tool.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if they fix it to where the timer still goes down, you'll still have vision for as long as the timer lasts, usual, which is how it should work anyway.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, at that point, you're probably getting the revelation off on the dropship itself. So it doesn't matter too much once they fix this, that it's continuous. But hey, for now, I mean, people leave, some Hellbats out in the very, very corner of a map for half the game, coming back and forth. You could save yourself a lot of heartbreak.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Well, Cal, is it time to talk about esports results? Can we talk a little DreamHack, a little WCS?
Let's do it. We prefaced the whole episode with trying to be nice and friendly. In the future, we will definitely help you guys break down tournaments a little better, maybe talk about tournaments that are up and coming as we approach them. But let's just geek out as we always do.
Yes, let's do it. So DreamHack was this past weekend. It was the kind of the big to-do, if you will. Everyone gets very excited for DreamHack. If you are a new listener, in the spirit of keeping this noob-friendly on the subject of esports this week, DreamHack is a massive, massive tournament that takes place in different places in Europe. This past weekend was DreamHack Stockholm, which is traditionally their most massive, most absurd, most holy crap. If I die and go to heaven, it better look like this tournament.
The thing about it is MLG has a convention center, but DreamHack has like a full production music stage.
Like amphitheater.
Yeah, so it really is all eyes forward.
You could go see a rock concert or watch an opera just as easily as see a DreamHack in the venues that they get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very, very... It's very interesting. It's so damn well produced. But some great players this weekend.
And well, let's talk about the production real fast, because of all the overlays I have seen tried out in tournaments, this one was my favorite.
Oh my god. You know what? I must have liked it so much I didn't really notice.
You didn't notice the little, what was building, little squares? Instead of having the production queue, there was actually like a box hovering over every Zerg larva or egg sac.
Awesome.
That showed what that was about to become, what this building was actively researching when they passed over it.
That's very, very cool. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really looking at it as I spent so much time. We spent so much time kind of crapping on the new overlays that Blizzard released and that GSL is using on This Week in Blizz. I wanted to distance myself. I was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore.
And the other thing they did that just seems essential when you break it down, because you have your supply, you have how much money people are making, but what they did was they put right next to that what the upgrades were at by putting a picture of the upgrade and a little dot going up to 3, what level they had gotten to. And it's just one of those, why wasn't this in there before? This makes so much, it's so important. If you're watching a game and a whole bunch of Marines take Banelings and Zerglings to the face, you're sitting there going, well, what? But that usually kills them all, right? There, yeah, we got 0-0 versus 3-3. Now that makes sense.
That's a very good point, and it makes it a lot more visual. Cool. Well, I'd like to see more of that.
It also meant that the player or the casters could really be 100% into the game, rather than having to remind us every few seconds what was building, what was being worked on where. It was more about the engagements and the strategy of it.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe I didn't notice that crap, man. Jeez, where was I?
Well, like you said, you were listening to it.
I know. This is the weekend of like hell. You ever had to clean a gutter before? Welcome to adulthood. It sucks.
Oh, man, that sounds awful. I've never had to do that, but in Florida heat, that sounds like hell.
Yeah, I'm used to it by now, but the heat, but not cleaning gutters now. I was in and out all weekend. Like I said, it was my background noise for the weekend, but I guess definitely the story that was to follow was Naniwa.
Yeah.
Freaking, what the hell? Where did this come from? Because he didn't do particularly well. I mean, he did well in WCS this week, but he didn't do as well as I would think after his performance in DreamHack. He went all the way to the finals and only lost by a single game, and it was to Leenock, who is not of this earth.
No, he was a machine, and these guys had it out. This was a great series, and Naniwa, man, he strikes me as a man who is a lot like Idra in that it has a lot to do with his mental state. Because Sase was there, and he would explode into the booth every single time something went right or something went wrong, giving him praise and just keeping him going. And I feel like that's really what got him as far.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since Naniwa's been on our radar pretty hardcore, and everyone loves a nice villain, and he certainly filled that role in the past.
Yeah. He
hasn't been well known for his manners.
He's hard to love.
Yes.
We'll put it that way. He's difficult to love.
But he's a great Protoss because of that. I feel like that personality goes straight into the game. It's that whole, what? Planet slightly infected? Blow it up.
There's Kyle getting lore heavy. Yeah, man, it's great. And that wasn't a good start. I mean, the reason Naniwa's story is so damn impressive is he took out the likes of J-Dog, for Christ's sake. And J-Dog's story was very impressive. Once he got into the playoffs and the round 16 forward, he 2-0'd both Verdi and Gumiho. And then he got up to Naniwa and lost. I mean, if you had sat me down and said, Garrett, all right, here's your round of 16. J-Dog's in there. And Naniwa's in there. Who do you think's going to come out? And if you had told me it was Naniwa, I told you were smoking crack.
Yeah.
So.
But, man, Leenock, I haven't seen these crazy... I mean, the way he played was literally reminding me of Fruit Dealer, the very first tournament of StarCraft. Because this guy would go, like, mass ultras, send him in. Do a good job with them, not just like throw them away. But at one point, he built 36 mutas at a single time, just because he dropped the supply and kept his money up.
Wow.
And seeing this flock just fly in and trash a base, get schooled by some storms. Okay, cool. Phoenixes are out, taking care of the mutas. All right, back to Ultralists, which can't be picked up by Mutalists. And with Hydras behind the Ultralists.
Phoenix is not Mutalist. Yes.
Yes. Pardon me.
I wish Mutas could pick things up, man. That'd be great. I just wouldn't have to make Vipers. That'd be wonderful.
Oh, that'd be... I think Zerg would be banned from tournaments.
They definitely wouldn't have the lowest win rate at the moment. That's for damn sure.
No.
Oh, man, that'd be bad. So, anyways, go check it out. I believe all the VODs are linked on Spoiler Free SC and DreamHack site. DreamHack site is a little harder to navigate. I like my just bullet list of links, but yeah, freaking
Yeah, I definitely got lost on the DreamHack website. And
their sites always confuse me, and I've never had the discipline to sit down and figure it out.
the best thing to do is just avoid the main website, go straight to dreamhack.tv. Because if you go to the main site, you'll eventually end up there anyway, because that's what you're looking for.
Right. But let's get into the little WCS chatter, because all 3 leagues are currently going with the Premier League, which, to harken back to our explanation at the front, think of the Premier League as the Code S. This is the top of the top for the WCS ranking, which is funny because then you get into WCS Korea, which is currently GSL, and it still has a Code S, even though it's the Premier League, and then I get confused.
They're just trying to keep... Yeah, no, we'll stop.
Yep, nope, stop. Anyway, let's talk about GSL first, which is also WCS Korea.
Yes.
Flash is out, and I'm very sad.
Yes, this past week we had the Group of Death. So named because it had amazing players through and through.
I'm going to stop you right there. Every group has been called the Group of Death since round 32 started.
That's true.
It's ridiculous when you're watching a tournament where Flash is the first one to drop out of a group. You know you're watching something special.
Well, and did you watch the selection for this ladder?
What do you mean the selection?
Well, they put it up as a VOD where they have everyone sitting around drawing names.
Picking drawing. No, I have not. I have not seen that. No.
I really enjoy it. I mean, granted, we do have English casters there helping us out, but the players are speaking Korean, so there's that delay, and there's, you can't immediately get involved because there is that delay and their passion may not translate and whatnot, but I still love to watch it. And what ended up happening was we had Parting. Yes, Parting picked Life. So Life goes, well, if I'm going to be playing Parting, I might as well pick Innovation for this group. Well, Innovation's like, well, I'm just going to finish it off. And basically the whole group just said, well, if you're already giving us this group, let's just make it as hard as possible.
Yeah, so Group B was Innovation, Parting, Life, and Flash. Funniest part, so Parting picked Life, you said.
Mm-hmm.
And then proceeded to lose 2-0 to him in the first game. Or the first match.
Yes.
First set, whatever you want to call it. Funny part of that, though, Life didn't make it out.
No,
Parting did, even after dropping the first set. But Innovation was the first set of the group. He only dropped 1 game, and he dropped it to Flash. And then Parting was second out of the group, having him and Life having to play the most games. And go Parting, man. He ended up coming back around in that last. He dropped 0-2 the first time. He won 2-0 the second time they met.
To be fair here, Flash looked like he was still lacked a little bit of understanding of the game. Not like I'm going to go teach him anything, but when things would happen, he would react on a very
I'm going to stop you there
level.
Because I want to see that. I want to see you teach Flash, Kyle. I'd like to sit in on that lesson.
I'd be like, use new units, I guess, Flash.
Just Widow Mines. Get around 40 Widow Mines, then make other stuff.
Yeah,
we're good.
Do that.
And then he just makes the unimpressed Flash face and keeps doing whatever the hell he feels like.
Now, there were some great baits into Widow Mines throughout this thing. My favorite, I brought it up a little earlier, but was the straight to Ultralist build that Life ended up pulling against Parting. Parting denied his natural. So Life, for some reason, goes, well, that's fine. I'm going to take my natural a little late, and hey, I'll just take a third. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 Evolution Chambers, start working on the upgrades for Zerglings, go straight to Hive, have nothing but Zerglings the entire time, and then drop about 10 Ultralists on the field and win.
Yeah, because why not?
It was awesome. I've never seen a Ultralisk on Colossus battle one-on-one, but it would make sense that the Colossus would immediately fall over on its flimsy legs.
Yes. It's like, you ever had someone try to hug you at your knees?
Oh, that's true.
and try and keep walking. Doesn't work out well, man.
Yeah.
And then we also had Group C with SOS Bomber, Tasia, and Shine. So I was rooting for Flash. Flash got knocked out. I'm like, well, I've still got. Well, actually, the Group B happened afterwards, but I watched them out of order. I'm like, at least I still got Tasia, right? Nope. No, I do not still have Tasia, right?
That's sad. Well, you got to enjoy SOS here because he was just representing the centuries.
He is a scary, scary Protoss.
Yeah, he's got such cool ideas, and I loved his hallucinations so much. What this guy did was he knew that, who was it here? He was up against Bomber.
Yeah.
He knew Bomber had the watchtower in the middle of the map. So he takes a tiny bit of his army and hallucinated High Templar and wanders them in and then is like, oh, whoops, I didn't mean to.
And what does Bomber do? Starts making ghosts.
Tons and
what
tons
does
of ghosts.
SOS do? Colossus.
He gets like he gets some Archons just for good measure to be like, yes, I do have Templar, but I'm not researching the upgrade. And just proceeds to roll him over.
That was so dirty. That was so damn dirty. You think he's gonna fall for that again?
No.
Or anyone for that matter? You think this is a one-time trick?
Wait, no. Of course it's going to work. Unless you're just going to sit there questioning yourself for the entire time. Like, is that really mass void ray? Oh, it is. Well.
Oops. I guess I shouldn't have said, no, you're lying to me, and made nothing but units that can attack round.
Now, we didn't get into this earlier, and I meant to bring it up, but it's one of those extra confusing facts. So new esports listeners, just shut your ears for a moment or enjoy this factoid. But the reason I love the GSL so much is because they have that week to prepare and they know who they're going up against. So some of these games probably wouldn't happen in a weekend blowout tournament because you wouldn't know that Tasia likes to sit in the middle of the map.
Yeah, these are all
at a tower.
Yeah, that's why I like the GSL because you have so much time to prepare your games. You get into this crazy meta head game. Where she's like, oh, it's cold out today, Bomber likes to open 2 racks when it's cold out. Obviously, that's not how it goes, but
this happens with your friends. I've done matches against people in the StarCast community where I go Mass Roach because no one expects it.
Kyle hates roaches. I don't need to worry about them. Where'd all these roaches come from?
Why do I have all these useless Hellions now?
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then everyone listening, I don't like to make units.
No.
Period. I don't. I just make workers. Only workers.
Actually, if I were to call you out for liking one thing the most, it'd be cloud drops.
Me?
You get so giddy about those.
I hardly ever do it.
I know, but when it happens...
I think I've done it twice.
But when it happens, you're just a giggling little girl. You just
Who the hell is not? Regardless of race, man. Even if I don't care if for whatever reason you make way too many warp prisms and you cloud drop with warp prisms.
I guess it doesn't
Who's
really work.
not gonna get giddy? You don't get giddy when you... Oh, okay. The equivalent, sir, is whenever you can knight us off. You just like,
yo.
I'm freaking out. Kyle, where the shit is all your stuff? It's okay, man. I got a nidus. And then he's like, and I look over the base, and the guys are just like, holy shit, how'd you let this happen? And I'm still getting rolled by Colossus at our front door.
Yeah, but I'm like, woo, in the back, and then, you're spending all your money making sure niduses pop up every few seconds because you're winning. All right, you caught me.
Yeah. Yeah,
dropping's fun.
You're right. Lately it's been just getting like ridiculous speed links rounds. Those have been getting me really, really happy. But last night, again with Mork, our last game I decided to go to Terran because I'd been playing Zerg all night, and the guy must have had like 25 mutas. I killed all but 3 in an instant with 18 Widow Mines.
Oh,
it was
that's
beautiful.
Awesome.
It was beautiful. I think I got the slow clap at a Mork, which is a proud moment.
Nice.
Proud moment.
After playing with Widow Mines so much, what do you think about them being untargetable? Or, well, you not able to target them?
What do you mean? I can't target what they attack?
Yeah.
I can't
that's what
make
I'm trying
them
to say.
target something. Okay. Isn't there a way you can do that? Or, like, you can redirect it so it resets the cooldown or something if you're really quick? I forget what it is. It's a trick that I have not been able to pull off.
What I have heard is making sure you get that upgrade for the burrowing, so you can.
Yes, that is. I keep forgetting it exists, and that's I got it last night when I pulled off that sick noodle skill, and it's ridiculous. It is worth every penny.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to handle it.
If you're going heavy, we don't mind. That's the way to do it. If you're just doing like a few in your mineral lines or whatever for some insurance, then it's not really worth it. But if you're doing what you're seeing a lot of Korean Terrans do, and they're moving the Widow Mines with their army and dropping them right before an engagement, you absolutely need that upgrade. So that's my 2 cents. Overall, I love the Widow Mine. I absolutely love it.
It was in this particular one. It was Flash First Life, and man, he stims his Marines out of sight of the Zerg, runs the Widow Mines up his ramp, and burrows them immediately. The Zerg comes flying over, sees the Marines stim up like a group of maybe 10 against a pretty sizable Zerg army, and then just runs right back. The Zerg's like, I got this. No, you don't. Yeah. Widow Mines hidden there. Oh, the baiting. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Horribly awesome.
It's fun, man. Like we said, spectator-wise, for those of us who are not pro players and never will be, and just want to sit down and watch awesome players play, Widow Mines have made the spectator game so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, well, we also get to enjoy the fact that we can see them out on the field.
Yes,
and exactly. That drama that builds in our minds.
Well, it's like Baneling Mines, except now there's 2 races that can do it. So
yeah, we haven't seen a single Baneling mine in Heart of the Swarm.
They popped up in the round of 32 in GSL. Someone was doing them. I think it was Life.
Oh, really?
I think it was Life. It just he's like a little. I think it was in like 2 games max. It wasn't a lot, but yeah, no, it's still very. It's worth it. I mean, if you can get that stuff up. The American League is going too. I'm putting on my sarcastic hat for these results because Group E, Nesty, and Apocalypse advance. You know, the Americans. Yeah. Group F, the STC and Snoot advance over the 2 actual Americans, Vibe and Theognis.
Oh no!
I'm so sad for Vibe because he went to the finals last year. In Group H, Alicia and Mooglade advance over Illusion and Maker. So many Americans, more Americans winning than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah, I guess so. Well,
I think I'm trying to pull this up, and I think the closest thing we got, where is it? Where the hell is it? Yeah, I think the closest thing we got to an American was Moonglade, Australia. That's the closest thing we're getting at the moment.
Well, no one can blame Australia for jumping on a different server.
Oh no, they didn't have their own. I mean,
yeah,
but yeah,
it's just gonna. It's frustrating.
Really swelling with pride is what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, certainly. You go foreigners.
Yeah,
but it's something that'll even out with time as more tournaments kick up, as it becomes expensive to be on a server that's not your own, or hey, it could be worth the money because you're winning on a different server. So
why would it be expensive to be on a server that wasn't your own?
Oh, because the live events, you got to fly to them, you got to participate.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I don't know. Most of these guys that are winning are on pretty legitimate teams. I don't think they have much problem with travel costs. But yeah.
Yeah, that was Blizzard's explanation of the deterrent.
Yeah, I would say though this week, moving on, probably the most surprising results came out of the WCS EU, because in Group E, TLO, man, he was the first out of his group, and he 2-0'd Naniwa, who damn near won DreamHack.
Yeah, but the little one has always done awesome in the new stages of the game or whenever a patch comes out, so I'm not too surprised.
True.
He's very inventive.
But Naniwa is a consistent son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yep.
He's consistently angry and consistently good at this game.
But Naniwa made it out as well.
Yeah.
So still scored high enough. Though people were definitely gawking at Damaga taking out MVP.
That was impressive, to say the least. I'm very. That was also very awesome. So yeah, EU probably had the most exciting results overall. MVP still made it out though. So yeah, both Group D and E had upsets that we weren't expecting, but the people who were upset still made it out.
This wacky world we live in where MCs and MVPs and DRGs and MKPs, they're just not doing as hot.
No, they're not. Well, MVP's had issues for a while now, man. I think he's still struggling with those injuries of his.
Yeah.
But this wacky world we live in of awesome, awesome games, I think is what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't complain. I love the upsets.
I love all the crap that we've been giving WCS. And at the end of the day, I'm sure Blizzard, everyone's got together and just like, these games are still totally awesome.
Yeah, right? We made this happen, guys.
Yeah.
Listen to last week. We really get into...
like I said, man, you get to hear the elusive, angry Garrett.
Yes.
Which in my day-to-day life happens a lot, but I like to keep the show positive.
Sure.
That's my girlfriend about how many keyboards I've gone through.
Ooh.
Anyways, DOS keyboard, man. Good stuff. They hold up. So, anywho's, that brings us to the more or less the end of the show, which means we're going to get into some more emails here in chat room. If you got some questions for us, feel free to ask them now. We'll do a little Q&A session. First email comes for us from Nistus, who says, guys, I just heard on the number 149 podcast, and I loved the discussion about how Blizzard should not try to monopolize the StarCraft 2 championships and stuff, and I don't know if you've heard this before, but I think Blizzard is trying to monopolize it simply because they saw what Riot, League of Legends, and Valve, Dota 2 are doing with their esports, and are trying to simulate and copy what they see works with their titles and how much money they can take or make. Maybe this is conspiracy theory. Ooh, Kyle, get your tinfoil hat on, man. This guy's speaking your language.
I never take it off.
It's off right now. But the old, we release when it's ready, Blizzard is dead, and Activision's way of doing stuff is shining through. See Diablo 3 and a push for monetization feature that ended up hurting the game. I think they're doing it wrong by trying to monopolize it just because StarCraft 2 is a completely different beast than those other esports. Anyway, I just wanted to say that and say to keep up the great work. Do you want to go first? Because I'm ready to slap this guy around.
Wow.
I've got my boxing gloves on, man. I'm ready to go.
Take it.
Okay. You know what is not inventive and I'm sick of hearing? Saying that Activision's pulling all the strings of Blizzard now and all they care about is money.
Yeah, but...
Have you played Heart of the Swarm? Just let me ask you. Have you played Heart of the Swarm?
I have.
Have you? Okay. What's wrong with the game?
Well, nothing. I really like it. I love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
I feel like they spent as much time as they needed to on it.
Did we?
Do
we have to pay a monthly fee?
Okay, I see where you're going.
No, keep going.
Okay.
I'm not done with this character act yet. Do you have to
sorry.
pay a monthly fee?
Well, no, I don't.
Other microtransactions.
Let me check my wallet. Well, no, I don't have to.
No, really not. Is there a Call of Duty style Premier subscription thing that lets you see all your awesome stats that you had to pay for?
Oh, well, I'm sure if I log into the ladder here. Oh, wait, no.
You can see all your stats. You can see all your stats for free.
I guess so.
And you have a ladder system that is, while some people get annoyed that they're in bronze, it's still one of the best ranking systems in a competitive game out there.
Well, I was playing some other games the other day, and I wished I had a ladder. All right, can I stop this now?
Yes, you can stop now. I don't buy into that for a second. First, that the recently at I want to say it was at what's the Penny Arcade thing? PAX.
Expo?
PAX, yeah, the Penny Arcade Expo. PAX. I believe there was a Diablo panel there, and they basically come out and said, listen, we would probably turn the auction house off if we could. To have the company admit that's impressive. More on that. They were talking about the gold auction house, not the real money auction house. And I don't know. I would almost agree with you, except that when you talk to a lot of the guys who've worked on Diablo, and you look at the history of Diablo 2, where there was a lot of real money exchanged for in-game items, and it was all done outside of Blizzard. Many, 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 many people were scammed, And I'm sure Blizzard had to deal with a ton and ton of damage control for problems that were not inherently their fault. It's not their fault some dude in China ripped you off $50 for that awesome helm.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it is I feel like it shouldn't have been a feature on the box, but it probably took so much damn work and infrastructure to make that auction house system that it had to be a prime feature of the game.
Yeah.
And then they started thinking, well, if we have this really great auction house system, why don't we make the drops work in a certain way to embrace that auction house?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Now, granted, yeah, Diablo did have its issues, but I don't think it was rushed. I mean, we played demos of Diablo 3 2 years in a row at BlizzCon, and it seemed finished. I mean, obviously, okay, yeah, you can polish the crap out of a demo, but looking at more recent issues in games with larger companies that are pretty much known to be evil, like EA and Activision, look at SimCity. There is something where they were just trying to cash in because that shit is still broken as all get out. And I'm kind of ticked I spent $60 on it.
Yeah, well, then there's some systems that work well, though, like the Borderlands Season Pass. That's a system that works well because people frickin' love that game.
And you get all the DLC for one lump sum. That's great. That's awesome. And I'm not against DLC. I just think some stuff, like the Call of Duty subscription thing, which I don't even understand, Elite or whatever it's called, I don't get it. I think they really are just trying to nickel and dime you.
Well, and to be fair, I played this game almost every weekend. I really like the way Diablo 3 plays. And since they gave monster power, I am all over this thing.
Yeah.
I love getting my shit beat.
I can understand Diablo 3 getting so much hate in the bubble of the Blizzard sphere. We're used to better from Blizzard. But when you open up that bubble to games in general, $60 for a game, Diablo at launch was way more game for your buck than most $60 games.
All right, but let's bring it back to his main point here, which is a monetization of the video game. And he's relating that to what Blizzard has done with WCS.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's where I disagree the most. They're not really charging me any money for this, so I see this as them trying to help the scene rather than make a crap ton of money off of it. If they're trying to make a crap ton of money, I think they're doing it wrong.
Yes, I agree. And I believe them when they say they want to encourage long and good storylines in the scene. The problem is that they're basically fanficking it. And they're running in, they're going, wait a minute, everyone. I'll take this story and we'll tie it all together in a nice little bow and make a prequel.
You like Wolverine? You like Superman? We're going to make them fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of those verses, like giant shark versus, super octopus.
Crocosaurus.
Yes, I think I saw that one, actually. But there was already these stories happening. Riot and Valve are in the position that they are building their game and probably had a much easier job.
Yeah. I don't know.
Promoting something and actually organizing something that's already going on, two very different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to sit down with the minds of Blizzard that came with the WCS and really just be like, how did this come about? Because it did seem very rushed.
Yeah.
But I'm honestly not too sure.
But what was his name?
Nistis is how I'm choosing to pronounce that name.
For old Nisty's sake, let's put on our conspiracy hats.
Could be nice.
He could be nice to us.
Okay.
There could be some behind the curtain sort of stuff going on where there was bidding for who got to be part of WCS. Certainly the NASL crew seems to have their stuff together for long-winded tournaments.
Yeah, and it seems very odd that they're kind of not involved at all.
Yeah.
It seems really bad, and they're really close to Blizzard. They have a set studio. I don't understand it. I do not get it.
But then we'd be going, why didn't you pick MLG? They're like the biggest one. Yeah. Everyone loves MLG.
Yeah. The thing is, that's kind of I feel like we're coming back around and beating a dead horse because as we said when WCS was first announced, at the end of the day, we're still going to really get really good games, and that could be one quick way to dismiss everything. But the best thing would have been if they could have had really good games and involved everyone, it made the entire scene happy without stepping on toes. Which right now we have players that are unhappy because there's Koreans in their region. They feel like they shouldn't be there and they have no chance of progressing to a certain point. You have tournament organizers that are unhappy because they've been cut out completely. And then thirdly, you have Blizzard, which is essentially shoehorning their way into tournaments that are already existing like GSL and cutting their prize pools in half.
Yeah.
So it's weird. This will probably end up being good. Are going to have great games. We're seeing insane games. The games are great. They're infusing a lot of money into the system. I don't know.
I feel like with time, what is on the line with WCS points will matter a lot. But for now, we're still adjusting. We're still in a world where individual tournament results are what are most important to us. Because you throw him the trophy at the end of the tournament and you said, and there's your champion of 300 points. Is that what he won?
Well, he wins money too.
Yeah, well, about half the pool.
Yeah, exactly. And Flamey in the chat room makes a good point that, like, even talking about return on investment, like, yeah, there's 1.6 million in cash for prizes, but that's tip of the iceberg for cost for this. I'm sure it's way past that in how much Blizzard's pouring into it. I don't know. I don't know, because at the same time, their GSL's taking a big load and ESL's taking the load for the EU and ESL.
But we of course understand why they're trying, because they are the RTS, and if they can organize this and get it digestible, they are set, and everyone's gonna love StarCraft. We just need to get it in front of people in a way they can absorb it.
Yeah. So.
But thank you for your email.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's switch gears to something completely random and unrelated to StarCraft at all. Philip wrote in and asked, "Hey guys, as a Spielberg fan, I was wondering, what is your favorite Spielberg movie?"
Yeah.
Kyle, go.
Oh man, throwing this straight to me. I mean, if we're going with produced, I would have to say it's not a movie. I'm sure there was a movie at some point. But man, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, Freakazoid, where would the world be without those?
That's a very good point. I'm surprised that's the route you went. We were talking movies, but yeah.
Sure.
All of those were amazing. Oh my god. Freakazoid was Spielberg?
Yeah, he produced that.
I didn't know. Oh my god.
All of those. That whole era of WB shows.
All right, youngsters out there, stop what you're doing. Go to YouTube, watch Animaniacs, watch Pinky and the Brain, and watch Freakazoid.
Well,
none of the crap on Cartoon Network even compares.
Definitely check out Pinky and the Brain. Well, actually, all the Animaniacs stuff holds up pretty decently. Though they just put up some of the Cartoon Network things like Johnny Bravo on Netflix. And man, that used to make some sense to me when I was younger.
Yeah, I loved Johnny Bravo when that was on. Dexter's Laboratory, man.
Yeah,
Dexter's
all those
Friday...
What was their Friday lineup called?
Cartoon Fridays.
Yes, Cartoon Friday stuff. All those shows made a heck of a lot more sense when I was young.
Yeah, anyways, we've derailed from a derailing of the show. Spielberg movie, go.
Direct. Okay. Well, my favorite movie of all time is Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, so I have to go with that one.
All right, cool. That was a co-dealy with Lucas, but yeah, I'll let it stand.
He directed it, though.
Didn't they both direct it?
Lucas he wrote and envisioned and stuff. Let me look up the official stuff.
Gotcha. Well, in the meantime, mine's Jurassic Park. Hands
you
down.
gotta love Jurassic Park.
I love me some Jurassic Park. Everyone that has that movie, they went and saw, and they remember everything about going to the theater that like changed their life. For a lot of people with Star Wars who were young enough and lucky enough to go see that when it originally first came out. I wish I could unremember Star Wars and see it for the first time, not knowing that Darth Vader is Luke's father. Spoiler alert! We're gonna get emails next week.
Yep.
But man, I remember I was sick. I was somewhat sick. I was home from school, and my dad, who never goes to movies, he hates the theater. I've seen maybe 3 movies in the theater with my father. He took the day off work and took my ass to see Jurassic Park, and I will never forget it. Oh my God.
My story with Jurassic Park is a rental, and my parents got it, and we watched it together, but they skipped over a couple scenes. The scene where Nedry is in the car and gets eaten by the Dilophosaurus, and the entire scene in the basement. So I'm thinking it's a pretty happy movie, right? Nothing really bad happened. Nobody died. So I wake up the next morning. I run to the living room, throw the VHS into the player. I'm like, yes, I'm going to watch it again, just like I did last night. And all of a sudden, there's these new horrifying scenes in the movie.
Man, I thought that the Dilophosaurus was the coolest damn thing ever.
Especially Mr. Arnold's arm falling from the ceiling on her. And the Velociraptor popping out of the pipings in the walls.
Hold on to your butts. That's such a good... There's, like, I have no complaints about the Jurassic Park film. It's nothing. And I've even read the book. I love the book. I still love the movie. I think it's like a near perfect film.
George Lucas was executive producer of Indiana Jones movies.
All right. Gotcha. Even Raiders? He didn't help direct Raiders?
I don't think he did.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, man. I love Last Crusade, too. It's up there. And it's a hard call, because I think at the end of the day,
He was the writer.
If I had to choose one to exist and the other not to, like if I had to choose, like only Jurassic Park exists or only Indiana Jones exists, I think I'd pick Indiana Jones. But, oh man, that's hard. That's rough. For the sake of being interesting, so we don't have the same favorite movie, I'm going to say Jurassic Park.
All right, sounds good. I haven't seen Super 8 yet.
That wasn't a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, it was it?
No, it was a J.J. Abrams love letter to Spielberg movies.
Oh, okay.
And I got confused. Awesome. I have since talked to many people who do not like it, and I don't understand it. It was probably my favorite movie that year. Love it. Absolutely love it. You should see it. I think you'll like it. It seems like something you really enjoy.
What's all... Oh, my goodness. Well... pre-production hardly means anything on IMDb. Yeah. But Spielberg working...
There's a Jurassic Park 4. Yeah.
Jurassic Park 4.
Uh-huh. It's official. It's real. It's not fake.
Untitled Transformers sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael Bay's directing it.
Good.
Hooray. And I'm sure crapping on my childhood whenever that Ninja Turtle movie comes out. But, yeah. Chat room, not a whole lot of questions. One gentleman asking us our opinion on DeMuslim. I like DeMuslim. Like him a lot. Not a guy I follow... not a guy I follow, like, religiously. I honestly do not know a lot about DeMuslim.
And I am unfamiliar with the current drama around him.
No, I don't either. I think it was he didn't get an invite for WCS or something.
But the explanation from Blizzard was basically he did well at the end of the year, but not well enough for the entire year to warrant the invite.
Gotcha. Okay. I do remember reading about that now. I was so done with drama after last week's episode. I barely touched the StarCraft Reddit this week.
Oh, this was like 3 weeks ago when they were setting up the WCS brackets.
All right. Well, yeah. No, I like him. I've seen quite a few of his games, but he's not one of the guys that I go watch a stream or something.
Apparently, he's edited some of his stream stuff, so maybe he cut down videos to make him look better, perhaps.
Wait, what? I think you're reading too much into whatever the chat room's talking about, dude.
Yep, that's what they're saying. I agree with Current TV. Drama's no fun. Actually, drama's quite fun, but I think we've had enough drama.
Gotcha. And then finally, one last email before we end it. Corey wrote in and said, hey, I never really got onto the podcast train. It wasn't my kind of thing. The other day I realized there was a podcast app on my iPhone, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to look for a StarCraft podcast. Maybe it'd be nerdy, maybe it'd be really lame, kids screaming or something. But no, it was intelligent, informative, and fun as hell to listen to. The first episode I had a chance to listen to just happened to be the interview with Rob Clotworthy. Oh, well, I feel like we gave you our best foot forward.
I know, right?
He said,
be good again.
He said, my God, that man can tell a story. Now that I've listened to a few more podcasts, He said, he added, I work in a factory. You have no idea how much better you just made my job. Including the recent Noobisode for Protoss, I definitely see this being my weekly go-to for StarCraft news, as well as This Week in Blizz. Thank you, Garrett and Kyle, for making such a great show. Had discovered this earlier. I probably wouldn't have stopped playing StarCraft until HOTS. Cool. Thank you, Corey. That was a superbly kind email. So, chat room, where can I get these podcasts? iTunes is a good place to get it, or amove.tv, or thestarcast.com, or thisweekinblizz.com. Amove.tv is a good one-stop shop. We kind of post everything there.
Yep, and then iTunes, of course, you can subscribe, have it automatically download for you, so nice and convenient.
Yep.
Updates there.
And on all the websites, there's a direct link to the RSS feed if you have a preferred RSS catcher other than iTunes. So we know there's a lot of Apple haters out there, especially among the PC gamers. So it's probably best to just do the RSS link. So, yeah, lots of places you can catch it. Good stuff. Kyle, that brings us to the end of another episode.
All right. Old school episode.
Yeah, good. Just me, you, and StarCraft. And a little bit of Spielberg thrown in there for good measure. I believe our very first episode we got off track about Indiana Jones.
Probably. I love Indiana Jones.
Pretty sure we did. Yeah. It's good stuff. Anyways, you want to help the show for free? Well, here's how you can do it. If you're a podcast listener, leave us a review in the iTunes store. The iTunes rankings are this weird, like, sacrificial goat black magic thing that makes no sense. All I know is when you leave us a good review, it helps the show. So if you want to help us out and not spend a dime doing so, that's how you can do it. If you do want to spend a dime, you can sponsor an episode at thestarcast.com. But there is that. We're in the middle of scheduling a bunch of guests. No one's confirmed yet. No idea what will happen next week. It might be just Kyle and I. We might have a guest. We'll let you know on Twitter, so follow us at the StarCast. This is a production of amove.tv. Make sure you go bookmark it there. You can see this and many other fine shows like This Week in Blizz and our new show, the Campaign Roundtable, over there. We just started Season 1 of the Campaign Roundtable. We are kicking it off with the Portal 2 campaign, and shortly after that we'll be discussing Bioshock Infinite. I can't wait to start talking about Bioshock Infinite. Oh my god.
I'm real excited. We haven't mentioned this game yet, but I'm real excited for Prince of Persia.
Oh, The Sands of Time. One of arguably my most favorite game of that generation.
Yeah, man.
Which
classic
is hard
Xbox.
because Halo came out in that generation. I really do love Halo. And I need to sneeze, so give me a moment.
All right. Sneeze away.
I think it went away, maybe. If I mute randomly, it's because I'm sneezing, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, breaking.
Stare at the light or other odd home remedies.
Go to thestarcast.com. That's where our forums, our archives, t-shirts, and many more are. If you want to check out our t-shirts, you can go to /loot.com, SLASH loot.com. We have our StarCast logo and Tychus with some shutter shades. Go pick them up. It directly supports the show. You can catch us live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/thehandsomenerd. All of our VODs are at youtube.com/StarCastShow, and you can catch our podcast on the Frog Pants Studios Ultra feed over at frogpants.com. The email is starcastshow@gmail.com, and that's where you can send emails with questions, comments, MP3 attachments, or you can call 941-882-0281 and leave us a voicemail for the show. We love hearing from you guys. You can follow me at Garrett Art on Twitter. You can follow Kyle at Kyle Fergusson. And big thanks to our production crew, Octane Pro and Captain Noobing, for all their help. My last pimp is my website, nomoonart.com. If you need stream graphics, logos, graphic design work of any type, that's where you can go see my portfolio. I'm always available for freelance. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can also find me on my other show, Biggest Fan Podcast, where this next week we are doing Robert Downey Jr. for the new Iron Man movie. After that, oh man, I think
you guys aren't getting addicted to drugs for a week, right?
No, and we're not going to rehab for a week either. Though that would make a fascinating episode.
Oh, that would be.
I don't want to put myself through that, frankly. Though it looks real nice. They have advertisements for somewhere called Rosencrantz on all the trains here in Chicago. Apparently your first dose is free. So whatever you're addicted to, you can go get it, and then they'll lock you up so you can calm down. So that's good. And there's like happy, smiling like teenagers on the advertisement. Everyone looks just great.
Well, that's because if they showed you a bed that was yellow from secretion of the body, you probably wouldn't go.
Sure, or, the nice rock garden out back that's full of people passed out and vomiting on themselves.
That being said, if you do need to go to rehab, you should do it. Do not let that deter you.
No.
I just realized I did a bad thing. Garrett.
I don't. He turned off the podcast. Garrett fulfilled my habit. Yeah.
Oh, you should not listen to any advice I ever give you ever about anything. So, very cool. Go check out Biggest Fan Podcast. That can also be found on amove.tv. Big thanks to our sponsors, DoghouseSystems.com, TweakedAudio.com, and SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Our code is StarCast. It gets you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig, and that same code gets you 30% off and free shipping on your entire order of noise-reducing earbuds from TweakedAudio.com. They are already very affordable. They get even cheaper when you use that code, and it directly supports our show every time you use the code StarCast at either DogHouseSystems.com or TweakedAudio.com. It helps the show out. At SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, make sure you follow them on Twitter at SC2Quotes. Download their new iOS app. Kyle, what did you have to search to bring that up again?
Oh, shoot. I have long forgotten. Check last week's episode.
Pretty sure it was just SC2Quotes, but yeah, my apologies. But yes, they have a new iOS app. They're currently working on an Android app. We'll let you know as soon as that's available, and we thank them all for their support. Thanks for
that's it. Go with the QOTD.
Oh, QOTD. Okay, for quote of the day.
Yep.
So search that in iOS and you will find it. Download it. Support them. They support us. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you next week for episode 151. Have a good night.
Take care.